onto your seats because what just went down inside that cold, silent federal courtroom is not just a Hollywood bombshell. It's the kind of nightmare that makes you question every red carpet moment you've ever seen. The man in the center of it all? Jamie freaking Foxx. Yes, that Jamie. The Oscar winner. The entertainer who can make a whole room laugh with just one smirk. But this wasn't the Jamie we knew. Not today. Today he wasn't charming. He wasn't unshakable. He was haunted. As he took the stand during the jaw-dropping trial of none other than Sean Diddy Combs, the atmosphere in the courtroom shifted. Not a single camera was allowed, no live feeds. Just one of Hollywood's biggest stars shaking like a leaf, gripping the sides of the stand as if it were his last anchor to reality. And then he broke right in front of the jury, sobbing, screaming, begging. Why? Because of what he saw inside Diddy's mansion. And baby, it was not a party. He changed his phone, got private security, canceled gigs, and then a tabloid story appeared out of nowhere, linking him to a scandal he swears was fabricated. A warning shot, he called it. We can build a lie around you just as fast as we can destroy you with the truth. And it wasn't just hidden cameras. Jamie revealed that guests had to hand over their phones at Diddy's parties. They said it was for privacy, but insiders told him the real reason the phones were cloned. Contacts, voicemails, messages, all copied. They didn't just take your image, they took your data and your fear. NDAs? Oh yes, dozens. But these weren't standard. They warned against ever speaking negatively in any setting. Jamie refused to sign. That's when his world began to crumble. Projects canceled, deals dropped, radio silence. It was like I became radioactive overnight, he said. What Jamie described next was straight out of a horror film. He said there were rooms inside the mansion that didn't exist on any blueprints, hidden passageways behind bookcases, surveillance centers where silent men monitored everything. He was shown a screen, feeds from bedrooms, spas, lounges, cameras watching everything, and when Jamie was led to his room, it wasn't near the others. It was isolated, no windows, cameras in the corners, cold. That night he heard music, then laughter, then robes, yes robes, people walking in procession to the theater room, some blindfolded, some filmed, and Diddy standing at the center, orchestrating it all. Jamie said he peeked through a door during the so-called blackout incident. He saw figures, whispers, clanking, a scream, someone being restrained. Then a woman walked through the room with a notepad documenting everything. She saw Jamie, she smiled and shut the door. That's when Jamie knew this wasn't a party, it was a stage, a place where people became props. There was an off-limits staircase. Jamie accidentally found it trying to find a bathroom. Two men were at the top. One stared him down and asked, "You lost?" Jamie turned back, but saw something under a black curtain, a soft blinking light. He said, "That's where they kept the good stuff. Not good like fun, good like evidence, secrets, control." His friend later told him, "That's where the meetings happen, where people give up something to get something." That line haunted Jamie for years. The prosecutor asked the question we were all thinking. Why now? Why didn't you speak earlier? Jamie didn't hesitate. "I was scared, not for my career, for my life, for my family." He spoke of lawsuits, firings, disappearances, not deaths, just vanishing from relevance. They don't kill you, they erase you. But when the leaks began, Cassie's testimony, former staff members, federal investigations, Jamie knew the time had come. If I stayed quiet now, I was complicit. I couldn't live with that anymore. And just when we thought it couldn't get worse, Jamie dropped the bomb. An FBI agent contacted him unofficially, said there were over 30 sealed complaints tied to Diddy. Misconduct, trafficking, extortion, none moved forward. Why? Jamie asked. "He's protected," the agent replied. Then came the real shocker. The agent told Jamie that a former US president was allegedly filmed at one of Diddy's private fundraisers. Jamie made it clear he doesn't know if anything illegal happened, but it was no coincidence that powerful names steered far away from the investigation. Jamie ended his testimony in tears. "This isn't about revenge. It's about stopping something that's been hidden for too long." And then he said it. "If something happens to me after this, I want the world to know I told the truth." The judge called for a break. Jurors wiped their eyes, and the world, it sat in stunned silence. not the silence of disbelief, the silence of reckoning. Because now the truth has nowhere left to hide. When court resumed after that haunting recess, Jamie Foxx returned to the stand, but he wasn't the same man. Something in him had cracked open, and now all the pain, the fear, the long suppressed rage, it was pouring out like a dam burst. He was done being silent. In the courtroom, nobody dared blink. Jamie began detailing how deep the web of silence actually went. He wasn't just up against Diddy. He was up against a machine, an entire fortress built on blackmail, surveillance, manipulation, and pure unfiltered fear. And the scariest part, it worked. Every time someone tried to expose what happened behind the velvet ropes of Diddy's empire, they didn't just get silenced. They got wiped off the industry map, forgotten like they'd never existed. It wasn't a home, it was a cage. Jamie described Diddy's mansion like a fortress, not of luxury, but of control. One hallway, he said, was hidden behind a bookcase. Another led to a dead-end wall that, if tapped just right, revealed a narrow stairwell with crimson emergency lights glowing eerily. He remembered wandering into a spa-like room with no mirrors and feeling his chest tighten. There were no reflections, Jamie said, like it was designed so you couldn't see yourself, only what they wanted to record. And when Jamie finally tried to sleep in the guest room Diddy assigned him, he couldn't, because there was a photo on the nightstand, one he swore hadn't been there earlier. It was a picture of Jamie and Diddy from years ago, both smiling, laughing, arms around each other, but the way it sat there felt like a warning, like a reminder. And scribbled on the back, in permanent marker, brotherhood. That word haunted him. The handlers, the recordings, the rituals. Jamie's voice dropped when he started talking about the handlers. They weren't guests, he said. They were there to watch. Men in suits who never joined the party, never sipped a drink, never smiled. They whispered in people's ears, escorted certain guests out of rooms, and made sure every camera rolled. And yes, there were rituals, things that looked like ceremonies. Some guests were blindfolded. Some were handed mysterious drinks. Some had their phones taken, their bags inspected, their movements followed. At the center of it all, Diddy, standing like a conductor. Jamie followed one group one night out of curiosity, and what he saw through a cracked door will forever live in his nightmares. Figures standing in a circle, a man restrained in the center, a woman calmly writing notes. No panic, no chaos, just procedure. He knew in that moment this wasn't a party, this was something else. The upstairs level, Hollywood's forbidden floor, nobody was allowed upstairs. That rule was clear. Only if you're invited, they said. But Jamie, trying to dodge a crowded hallway, slipped through the wrong door and suddenly found himself at the base of a staircase glowing red from emergency bulbs above. Two people stood at the top. One spotted Jamie and, with a voice that chilled the courtroom even in retelling, asked, "You lost?" Jamie turned around fast, apologizing, but just before he walked away, he caught a glimpse past the curtain behind them and saw blinking white lights. Surveillance equipment, he said, but this was the real archive, the stuff that never leaves the room. Later, someone close to Diddy whispered to Jamie that the upstairs level was where the real deals were made. And the currency? Not money, not fame, but sacrifice. The industry blackout. I became radioactive after refusing to sign Diddy's NDA. Jamie noticed the fallout immediately. His endorsements disappeared like smoke. Movie projects got postponed. Suddenly, studios didn't return his calls. Collaborators ghosted him. It wasn't just rejection, it was erasure. Quiet, systematic, brutal. They didn't say no, Jamie testified. Family just stopped saying anything. He tried to speak to peers, but most were too afraid. A few confided in him about what they'd seen, but when he asked them to come forward, they'd go quiet. And then, just like him, they'd vanish. The final straw, the FBI steps in. Jamie's most chilling moment came when he received an unofficial visit from an FBI agent. The agent had been investigating Diddy's empire for years, off the books. He told Jamie there were over 30 sealed complaints tied to Diddy: abuse, trafficking, extortion, but none ever made it past grand juries. Why? Jamie asked. The agent's answer: he's protected. Top level, people you wouldn't believe. And then the atomic bomb. Jamie claimed the agent revealed sealed documents linking a former U.S. president to one of Diddy's fundraisers. a fundraiser where surveillance footage was known to be collected. I don't know if anything illegal happened, Jamie said, but I know people in power have gone silent. They build a cage from your worst moments. Jamie's last comments shattered what was left of the courtroom's composure. They don't just collect secrets, he said. They manufacture silence. They build a cage made of your worst moments, and then they hold the key. By now, jurors were wiping tears. Even hardened reporters sat frozen. This wasn't just a trial about one man's crimes. This was about a Hollywood built on leverage, about a music empire ruled not by talent, but by fear. If something happens to me, Jamie ended with a plea. This isn't about revenge. It's about stopping something that's been hidden for too long. And then he said it. If something happens to me after this, I want the world to know I told the truth. The judge called for recess. Jamie stepped down, his body shaking. And for the first time, it wasn't just Hollywood watching. It was the world. The courtroom may have recess, but the world did not. As Jamie Foxx sat down, visibly broken but finally unburdened, the gallery was dead silent. But outside that courthouse, oh baby, Hollywood was on fire. Phones buzzed, agents panicked, PR teams scrambled, and behind every locked door in Beverly Hills, executives, musicians, and actors whispered the same thing. Did he really say that? Did Jamie just expose the entire system? And yes, he did. The celebrities who went silent or vanished. The gossip mill exploded with speculation. Who were the 3 celebrities Jamie said were with him at that mansion? Who else received those dreaded flash drives? Who else was filmed, blackmailed, silenced? Online sleuths pounced. A list rapper? Fans linked it to someone who canceled a tour mysteriously last year. Beloved late night host suddenly on sabbatical with no explanation. Activist actress? Last seen publicly 6 months ago. Her IG went dead. No press, no events. Poof. One Redditor wrote, "We thought they were just taking breaks. What if they were being erased?" It was no longer a conspiracy. It was a reckoning. Backlash begins. The industry reacts. A few brave souls tried to speak. One former producer tweeted, "I was at that mansion once. I saw the robes. I was too scared to speak back then. Jamie's not lying." The tweet was deleted within an hour. Another actor posted an Instagram story with just one phrase, "We warned you." She unfollowed dozens of accounts right after. Her publicist declined to comment. Oh, the flood of denials. Oh, the flood of denials. "We never knew about any such recordings," said one record label exec. Jamie's story is heartbreaking, but entirely false, Diddy's camp insisted. But here's the thing. No one believed them. The clues were there all along. We just didn't want to see them. Suddenly, the internet pulled receipts, old interviews where Jamie looked off when Diddy's name came up, clips of celebrities nervously laughing, brushing off those Diddy party rumors, podcast snippets where someone started a story and then stopped, an old clip of Kanye West saying, "Some people in this industry, they make you watch things you can't unsee." Now, it all sounded like code. We weren't listening. We thought it was gossip. Turns out, it was a cry for help. Jamie's final statement, "I told you the truth." The final day of testimony wasn't televised, but word leaked from the courtroom, and what Jamie said left everyone breathless. "I know they're coming for me now," he said, eyes brimming with tears. "I know how this works. The stories, the smear campaigns, the lies. I've seen it happen." He paused, then added, "But I have one thing they can't erase, my truth. And I gave it to all of you. Now it's yours. Do something with it." And just like that, the judge dismissed him. The aftermath. Jamie goes dark. As of this writing, Jamie Foxx hasn't made a public appearance. His team issued a single statement. Mr. Foxx stands by everything he said under oath. He will not be engaging with media at this time for his safety. He reportedly left Los Angeles under private protection. Some say he's with family in Texas. Others say he's in hiding. His Instagram, silent, no stories, no posts. But the comments under his last photo, "We believe you. Stay strong, King. We got you." Hollywood's house of cards starts to wobble. since Jamie's testimony. Rumors have intensified around Diddy's estates. Whispers of a federal raid, former staff being called to testify. Some say more flash drives were leaked anonymously to journalists. A major streaming platform even paused a docuseries that was quietly in the works about Diddy's career. Insiders now say it wasn't about his rise, it was about everyone he took down along the way. And the biggest question of all, what was on those tapes? We may never know exactly, but one thing is clear. Jamie saw enough to risk his entire legacy, his career, his life. He stood up alone in a courtroom where everyone else had whispered for years, and he said no more. Conclusion, the silence is over. The reckoning has begun. This isn't just about one man or one mansion or one party gone too far. This is about a machine of power built on control, the NDAs, the threats, the staged scandals, the rumors planted in the press, the careers killed in the dark. It was all real, and Jamie Foxx just tore the curtain down. Now, Hollywood has nowhere left to hide.